Hey everybody, welcome into Coach's Corner East, Wednesday night, 13th of October, and we're heading into week 9 of the high school football season. And we're glad to have you aboard for this edition of Coach's Corner East. Tonight, we are brought to you in part by Don Barr & Associates at the Galion Building and Loan Bank, Matt Studer at Spitzer Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Kia 1 mile east of the Richland Mall, Mark Osborne & Associates at E-Crane International, serving worldwide markets from the Galion Industrial Park. Week 8 review, week 9 preview, and the Crestline Bulldogs, an interesting game on the road that was delayed twice by lightning, finally getting done about 11:30 p.m., and then the long bus ride home from Dola and Hardin Northern High School. We'll talk to Coach King and the players about that. It'll be Colonel Crawford at about 6:20, coming off just a dominating win, 76-0 at Buckeye Central. They continue their N10 season at home this week with Bucyrus coming to visit, and the Galion Tigers. An interesting game on the road in Ontario. One would think it would be a high-scoring game, but the Tigers jump out to a lead and then hang on 7-6, so we'll talk to them about that coming up in just a moment. The show is brought to you in part by Steve and Chuck Keller at Keller Auto Parts, your Napa dealer, Uptown Galion, and Crestline Marine Mounts at the Platinum Insurance Agency, your progressive agent, 131 Harding Way East, Uptown Galion, and Joe Kleiman Associates at the Galion office of First Federal Bank of Ohio. And the kids are sitting around the table here from the Galion Tiger football program, and Coach Dick is just walking in now, so we'll give him just a moment. But, you know, first up over here, I'm going to make Caden the captain here. What is Coach Dick going to have to do at practice tomorrow for being late when he tells all of you guys you can't be late? So
you're rolling.
I said Coach is going to be running sprints. You say what?
I say roll.
Roll. Now describe what roll 'em means.
Basically you just lay down flat and you gotta roll for how many yards.
Oh yeah. So what do you think, guys? What do you think's appropriate for roll 'em for Coach for being late to the?
He's 4 minutes late, so I say 100 yards for each minute.
That's exactly what he'd do with us. Got the same punishment.
That should be interesting. If you guys can get that on video and get it to me, that would be fantastic, or whatever it is you have him do. So Coach Dick, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you get started here. You are here now. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. And an interesting contest, as I said in my open. A game, when I looked at it on paper, I thought, okay, well, an opportunity for you guys to get your offense going, put a lot of points. You got a lot of dynamic guys sitting around the table, can really help put some points on the board. And then when I saw the ending of the game and I saw 7-6, I'm like, whoa, what happened? I read the article, saw a little bit of the highlights, and a comment that you had made. We knew we'd have some tough games. We were close in that 3-game skid. We just couldn't get it done. Gabe Ivy sitting right across from us, 46-yard touchdown run with 3:37 left in the first quarter. Ontario had the ball twice inside your 5-yard line, couldn't score. They finally did score on the opening drive of the second half on a short run by Miller, their quarterback, freshman, I believe, right? And a bobbled snap on the PAT kept the score at 7-6 with 4:44 left in the third quarter, and that's it. So when I thought, and I'm sure a lot of other people thought, we're going to have a high-scoring affair here, how did it turn into a defensive battle?
Offensively, we had some trouble blocking their Mike linebacker early on. We got some of that cleaned up. Gabe had a nice run in the second quarter there. And we came out from halftime. We coached them hard at halftime. I think our kids responded well. But it didn't matter what we did offensively. It seemed like we'd have like this 8-yard run, and then we'd fall down instead of score a touchdown. Then the next run would be like a 6-yard run, and we'd fall down instead of scoring a touchdown. Then we get a holding penalty or a bad snap, and it'll put us in the 2nd and 25, and then bad things happen after that. Nothing good happens. So, offense stopping ourselves again, it's been a problem all year. We talked to our team about, them doing their 111th, and I think every time one of these guys wants to point the finger at someone else, it seems like it's their mistake that really costs us. And we talked about that today in our leadership council before we started practice. Just, you got to focus on doing your 111th and executing at a high rate. And if you do that, our offense is going to start rolling. And same with our defense. I mean, defensively, we struggle a little bit with our D-line, especially getting rolled back. They got to do their job and maintain their gaps so our linebackers can make plays. So it all fits together, and we're still working on that. And it seems like if we fix one thing, it seems like something else pops its head up, and we have to work on fixing that. Now, hopefully, it'll all come together this Friday night. Our seniors, it's senior night, and I'm excited to see them play one more time at Heisey Park, and I know they're going to play their best game, and the question is, can our underclassmen match that?
You know, we've talked throughout the season about your youth and lack of experience at the varsity level. One would think, a layperson would think by week 8 that those things would start to be cleaned up. Are you disappointed personally and as a staff that these things are still happening? And have you addressed why they are happening?
Yeah, I think sometimes with the O-line, when you shuffle people around, we had an injury. Hopefully we're going to get him back this Friday. But, you know, Clayton Yost, a 2-time captain for us at center, and when you lose him for a game, that makes a difference. And then we just move some sophomores around. They got to think a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. And I think just sometimes it takes reps. It's one thing to be a sophomore and play all 8 weeks at the same position, but it's different when you have to play left guard, then you play a little bit of center, then you play a little bit of right guard. We've had some guys like, you know, young guy like Ethan Horning, Alex Griffith, those two especially have been moved around a little bit in and out of the lineup, and then just knowing their plays and being able to execute at a high rate, that's hard. That's hard for young sophomore linemen, and then you add in a sophomore quarterback, a sophomore running back, some sophomore receivers. It just makes it hard to execute at a high level. We've done some really good things in practice this week, and I think that we've kind of had that happen for about 6 weeks. I think we've looked way better in practice than we ever do in games, and I just look for us sooner or later on Friday night for it all to click. And then, you know, we'll give LCC a chance to stop us. And maybe they're good enough, maybe they're not. But we keep stopping ourselves, and I'd love to get rid of that these last 2 weeks.
Kyle Foust, who's sitting across from me, gets the big interception right at the end. Miller threw a pass, and Kyle picked it off as time expired. Probably breathed a big sigh of relief at that point. And as you'd mentioned, the bad snaps kind of plagued you all night long. Really would have made a difference in the score. Gabe Ivy also sitting across from me, 11 carries, 94 yards. Hanif Donaldson next to me. Didn't play the first half due to some disciplinary reasons, but did finish with 71 yards, 17 carries, 2 passes caught for 51 yards, one very acrobatic that I saw the highlight of, and kept the feed in. But your offense was held below 200 yards, and you talk about that when you get behind the chains, it makes it kind of tough, so I certainly understand that. Ontario's running back Chase Studer, sophomore, 21 carries, 105 yards, 2 catches for 53. So you held them down pretty much as well, and it was just kind of that grinded out battle that you get every once in a while, and you'll take it. A win's a win, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, you know, it's hard for me. I like when the offense rolls, and our defense has played great all year. Our defense was especially great down by the goal line. They made some great stops. But, you know, I like when we're a little cleaner on offense. It's hard for me to enjoy the game. I'm sure it's hard for the fans to enjoy the game. And our kids, it's like, you know, when you have an 8-yard run, you know, the next play should be an easy 8-yard run. You should start rolling them. I mean, it's not like they're changing their defenses and some of the tempo we were using. It's the same look, and we get a holding penalty or a bad snap. So it really kills the momentum of the game. I know our kids would much rather walk off as winners than losers, so, hey, they got paid a little bit. But as a coach, it's frustrating. It's hard to accept ugly wins or ugly losses. I don't like ugly.
Yeah, for sure. I can certainly appreciate that. Before we talk to the kids, I want to remind everybody we're brought to you by, in part by the Burkhart Farm Center, the Burkhart family, at the Burkhart Farm Center, your Case IH dealer, straight west of Galion on the New Winchester Road. Mike Kleinite at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mount Gilead, and Marion, and sweet baby Ray Jones, Davey's little brother, Ohio Door and Sash, 120 South Street in Galion. First up, we've got a couple seniors. Caden Roberts is a senior. Welcome back, Caden. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Crazy game, but you get the win. A big rival, and we talked about that. Yeah, River Valley is, but you've all said that Ontario is as well. Anything that the Warriors did that kind of surprised you when you were out there on Friday night?
Not really. They pretty much stuck to what they do. The only thing that really was a difference was their punt formation. That was about it.
Okay, so you're down to a couple games, and then we'll kind of vet out what happens in Week 11, if there's a Week 11, and it looks pretty good, like the Tigers are going to move into the playoffs, but that remains to be seen. But being your last home game as a senior at Heisey Park and Unkrich Stadium, have you given it much thought of what that's going to be like, their final time to play on that stadium? Because the likelihood of you hosting a playoff game is kind of in the wind right now, so how do you feel about that?
I mean, I've been thinking about it since freshman year when I saw the senior class of my freshman year walk across, and it's just going to be a mix of emotions.
Yeah, and LCC, Lina Central Catholic, coming in a non-league game to get that last non-league game, a team that's doing really, really well and probably wants to spoil that. So how do you get you and the rest of the seniors up and amped up and ready to go for a big game in, maybe not, it certainly isn't in the MOAC standings because it's a non-league game, but your last time on that field?
just it's gonna be our last time, and if we can win, I mean that's a huge win to walk in there as underdogs and come out with a W.
It'd be a great time for the offense to click, right?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get after it, and congratulations. Next up, senior Kyle Foust, and got the big pickoff at the end of the game to seal the deal. The guy that you were covering on that last play, I mean, were you reading the quarterback's eyes, or were you just concentrating just on the guy that you had to cover when you got that pick?
Yeah, I was just watching the quarterback, and I just knew the situation. And I'm in a battle right now with Andre Hill from Shelby for the most picks. So
How many do you have?
I have 4.
Good for you.
Yep.
Good for you. And so after I watched the Browns game on Sunday and see all that phantom pass interference, in a big situation like that where a game can't end on a penalty, did you even think about that? That, man, I can't touch this guy, I can't do anything, but I gotta get it. I can't let him get it either. Did you think about that?
I didn't really think about it. I was just staring down the ball, really.
All right. So kind of the same question that I had for Caden, your last game at Unkrich Stadium, Heisey Park there. What's it mean to you? What the 4 years to play for the Tigers, to play it at your home field, and it's all kind of coming to an end? What's it mean?
I mean, it's definitely going to be emotional, but we're going to have fun, and I know my sophomores over there, we're all going to ball out, so we're going to have a good time.
Good. Well, good luck. It's a really solid team coming in. You're going to have to play well, but a great opportunity to pick up a huge win in your final game there. Good luck to you. Next up, Gabe Ivy, a sophomore, and Gabe continues to do really, really well, running the ball, 11 carries, 94 yards. Are you getting stronger as the season progresses?
I mean, I hope so. It'd be really nice.
You feel like you are?
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting stronger.
Is it from a mental standpoint? Because as we talked off air, the nicks and bumps and bruises, everybody's got them here week 8, week 9, and I'm sure that you do too because you're getting popped every time you carry the ball. But mentally, is it still, are you pretty full of gas mentally and you're in good shape that you can just continue to rip these runs off?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I get the ball, I just know my O-line's going to do their job, and when I see the hole, I just run through it.
All right, and Lima Central Catholic's got a lot of talented kids. They've played some tough teams. They're not in a league, so every game is a non-league game for them. What really stands out on film to you on what they're doing, both offensively and defensively?
I mean,
Are they more a running team, passing team?
they're dual threat. I mean, I think they're good running. Passing's iffy. I mean, they mostly do like short routes sometimes, but I think their running's going to be really hard.
Okay. And defensively, the guys that are chasing you, are they big, or are they not? Are they just quick, or kind of combination?
They're quick. They're like a combination of some, but then there are other that are just tall, lengthy guys.
Okay.
You know,
All
it
right.
just depends.
Well, good luck in your final home game of the year, and
Thank you.
wish you well continued success.
Thank you.
You bet. Next up, Landon Campbell, a sophomore as well. And Landon, appreciate you stopping out. And were you getting nervous there late in the game and it's 7-6 and you're thinking, we can't lose to Ontario. We just cannot lose. Were you thinking that, or it's just like, go out and do my job?
It was just go out and do my job.
Yeah. What has been the biggest thing in practice this week where, coach is talking about putting everything together? How do you guys put it together in the final 2 weeks of the regular season and then beyond in the postseason?
Just practicing what we know, and like practicing against LCC's defense and like their formations and stuff, and just getting prepared for that game.
The season started a week earlier. The weather's been really, really good. It may cool off now here a little bit as we head in. Does that bother you guys at all? Maybe some rain, or do you want it to cool down a little bit?
I'd like it to cool down a little bit, but it doesn't really bother us.
Oh, okay, very good. Good luck in your final game at home this year, and get a big win, okay?
Thanks, man.
Next up, Carson Frankhouse is with us. Mr. Quarterback, right?
Not me, sadly.
Oh, that's right. Your brother was.
No, I always tell the coaches that you just got to put me in there one time. I got an arm on me.
Maybe you should go Wildcat and do some of those things.
That's what I've been saying since week 1. But sometimes they just don't listen to me.
So that's something. Lost the microphone here a little bit. There we go. Maybe that's something that could still be put in here and get done here this season. This group that's coming in is really talented. What are you going to have to do to kind of shut down the Thunderbirds and get a win?
All week we've just been focusing on, we know what they're going to do. We know the keys. The coaches have been talking about it all week. I'm just going to have to read the guards and stop the run. And I feel like once we stop the run, it'll be a very successful night for the Tigers.
You're a younger player, one of the sophomores, and you want to send these seniors out on a good note with their final home game. How important is that to you to do your part so that they have something to look back on and say, we won our final home game?
It's very important to me. Every home game, away game, I've always done it for the seniors throughout the year. I just feel I want to send them out on a good final season, so when I'm a senior, the underclassmen are going to help me out with that too.
Yeah, very good. Well, good luck to you, and thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.
You bet. Hanif Donaldson, senior, is with us as well. It's been a few weeks since we talked, but I'm so glad to have you back. And
Appreciate it.
been an interesting season. You've really lit up the highlight reels on a lot of different games, and then you've had some tough games. And this was kind of a tough game. It's not your normal. It was 71 yards, 17 carries, and 2 catches for 51, albeit it was just in a half. And we're not going to talk about disciplinary reasons. We leave that inside the program, and that's understandable. But now's your last chance. This last chance at this beautiful stadium over here for everything that you've done since a freshman. What's been going through your mind this week in practice and outside of practice to say, this is it, and I got to do it?
I've seen all my other older buddies graduate and play their last games, and I was a little emotional at times them just seeing them go, and I definitely feel like it's gonna hit home for this last home game because I've grown up with all these guys, and I've played sports with them my entire life. Doesn't matter it being football, baseball, track, and I feel like we definitely need to get the dub, go out on a good note, and I think we'll get the dub.
And I think knowing you would probably trade all those yards and the accolades in just to get the win for all of your seniors and the underclassmen, true?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck and enjoy your last game at home. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
You bet. We're brought to you in part by Lee Plimo and Brad Seibert at the Plimo Insurance Group, Galion and Bucyrus, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center, North Walnut Street, across from the courthouse in Bucyrus. Phil and Sue Schreck at Phil's Deli, just east of just east of the Pizza Hut at the bridge in Galion. Matt Dick back at the microphone here, and Coach, before we talk about Lima Central Catholic coming up, your 13th, Division IV, Region 14. Just a little under a point average ahead of 14th place Huron, a little over a point average of 16th place Edison. Seems pretty good, especially a win over LCC would help you an awful lot because of their record. Then you finish up with a Pleasant team that I think has just won one game, which won't help you a whole lot from a point standpoint. You feel pretty good that you're going to be able to get in, play some postseason tournament play?
After Shelby, we talked about going 3-0 to finish the season, and that's our goal.
Mm-hmm.
If we can't go 3-0, we're going to try to go 2-1. I mean, it's real simple. It's one game at a time. LCC is a very good football team,
right.
But our kids are due. They're due to get paid. They're due to get some momentum. They're due to finish the game in the fourth quarter, to put it all together one night. And we've been working hard towards that. And I can tell you, our senior class, they could have bad attitudes. They could not give effort and that stuff, but that hasn't been the case. We've had a good week of practice, a couple hiccups here or there, but overall, we've had good looks. Both scout teams have done a good job, and hopefully we're going to iron some of those weak links out this week and play a good game.
Lima Central Catholic, the Thunderbirds come in at 7-1. They've won 7 straight. Scott Paulty, their head coach, they defeated Licking Valley last week, 37-20, averaging almost 39 points per game, but giving up just 15 points per game. They are number 1, Division 7, Region 26. What do you expect to see from them offensively and defensively?
Offensively, I think it all starts with their jet motion. They run this sweep to number 1. He's a very, very fast, athletic kid. Their quarterbacks fake it to him and run around the corner, or fake it to him and run power. He's a big, strong sophomore, but he's a big, strong kid. Big O-line. So they got weapons, and they do play action off of it, do a nice job of that as well. They're going to make you defend the whole field, similar to kind of like what some of the stuff Clear Fork does. It's a tough challenge. But the good news is we've played some good offenses. We've played Clear Fork already, played Shelby already. So we've seen some of that speed, but LCC's a different creature. They're going to be a different look. They do stuff a little different, have some different type of athletes that maybe we haven't seen yet. So it's going to be a tall challenge for our defense. But I know our our defensive staff's going to put those guys in good positions. They've shown them what formations and some of the keys, and I'm excited to see them play them.
Well, like the seniors said, I'm sure you and your coaching staff would like nothing more than to send your seniors away their last home game with a victory over a really good team. And I'm sure that you're putting in the work and the effort to get there, and we wish you the best of luck and hope that you get it done, and we'll come back and talk about it next week.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a break here. Colonel Crawford is up next. We'll talk to them right after this timeout.